back, viewers and listeners, to another episode of New House, Same Address. I'm joined by Karis and Eric.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
How are you, Karis?
Doing well. I'm awake.
Anything else?
I'm alive. I've had coffee. I'm good.
Gotcha. Very cool. Yourself?
I'm hungry right now.
Really?
Yep.
That is very unlike you.
You don't know him very well, do you?
I don't think I do. I've never seen him eat outside of lunch. So, but it is very particular time. I mean, like 12:01,
Too late.
angry.
Yeah.
No, 11:30.
11:30.
I go and heat up lunch at 11:30.
The
every day.
perfect time for lunch.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And that's, I'm already waiting for it at that point. So,
So what happens when you eat breakfast at 5?
Speaking of breakfast, question of the day: what is your favorite toast spread?
I had it this morning.
Is it going to be marmalade, your apple butter, regular butter, peanut butter and jelly on toast? I don't know.
avocado.
Avocado.
She's one of those crunchy
I've never had it.
avocado types.
High maintenance.
Well,
It is pretty good.
I like.
tell me something I don't know.
Oh wow. Okay.
The avocado spread, does it come like, or do you make fresh avocado?
It
Like,
comes in like a little
jar.
green pod. You pick it off a tree.
not the avocado.
No, I get an avocado and
just-
I slice it and half of one in a bowl and you mash it up with a fork and you put a little bit of salt on it and then you take some toast and you butter it and spread it on top.
That actually does sound amazing.
If you put cayenne pepper, it's even better, but I forgot this morning.
Or red pepper flakes.
I don't know that I'd do the flakes, but the red pepper, the cayenne is good.
Okay, perfect.
I've not had that combination.
I'm going to have that because I've never had avocado spread on a toast. On toast.
You've missed out.
I know, truly. I love avocado. I can just eat that with salt.
Well, I could too, but I put it on toast so I look more, refined.
So I look more
Appropriate.
high maintenance. What about yourself, Eric?
I like just about anything, honestly.
You don't have a
on
favorite?
toast?
Nutella?
Well, okay, let's clarify. Not just about anything.
And
As far as
Debbie's?
like jellies, jams, cinnamon, sugar.
Cinnamon
that's
sugar
kind
is
of
hard to beat.
It is hard to beat.
Yeah.
Um,
I do that on the weekends. I don't do it during the week, though. I'm trying to watch my sugar.
Yeah. Little pleasure for the weekend. Little cinnamon and sugar.
Nice. I do like cinnamon sugar. Very cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I think if
Austin?
I like a lot of things too. I think one of my most favorite one that I've ever had is probably a Tabasco jelly,
Ooh.
spicy jelly.
Yeah.
That stuff is pretty good. Well, you butter it first, obviously, but then it was specifically Tabasco sauce jelly. That was pretty incredible.
I can see that being good with a combination of cream cheese.
Okay. Well, what makes the best toast?
What do you mean? What makes the best toast?
What type of bread?
Oh,
I know.
probably.
Okay, Karis, you get. You go first.
Yeah,
Sourdough.
that was gonna be one of my answers. It was gonna be that or rye
Ew.
or wheat, honey wheat. I do like wheat.
Yeah.
Wheat.
That's okay.
I think one of the best is like leftover biscuits. So if you had like biscuits with a meal the day before, cut it in half, butter it, toast it. That's hard to beat.
I don't reckon I've ever
I think
tried
it's-
toasting a biscuit.
Yeah. It's good.
We don't have leftover biscuits very often.
So it's an
Yes.
English muffin.
No.
No.
That's an English muffin.
An English muffin is an English
Yeah.
muffin.
It doesn't
Very
happen
different.
very often, but it's really good.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Well, today, let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about, I don't really know what to call it, but I'm going to say high pressure sales. It does exist. Let's talk about some experiences we've had with it and the contract that I signed stating that I wouldn't.
That's right. We had to make you promise.
I promise,
Yeah.
heck.
So sales is kind of a, I don't know, I wouldn't say dirty word, but it's
People
part of
don't
our
like it.
everyday life. But
Yeah.
when people think of sales, it generally has a kind of a negative
It does.
connotation to it. And that's certainly something we want to avoid in our consultations and
Yeah.
relationships with our clients, because we're not high pressure, and we're there because you asked us to be there and
Right.
need some help. So that's what we're there for.
Exactly.
There are definitely places where high pressure sales and tricks and try to twist your arm with certain discounts or
Yeah.
things that they'll take away if you don't do it. So yeah,
I gotcha. Okay.
let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about. Do you want to talk about our side? I think we should talk about the experiences we've had, both well, bad or good, with a sales experience. Because I mean, yeah, in my experience, I've never liked the word sales. I've grown to understand it a little bit better, and so I'm able to communicate that better with clients and other people as well. What actually sales means, you know, you call it what you want, but yeah, we do it a little bit differently here at Ozark Home Pros. So, I think one of the best sales experiences I've had is someone who does something a lot like what I do. He was similar in age. He was with a solar panel company, and I've had a lot of people come in and sit down in my homes. I mean, it could be even like with religious groups, people doing that too. But this guy was like super genuine, nice, wanted to get to know me, my family, and why I needed the solar panels. He wasn't going to try to convince me. He wanted to make sure that I actually needed them in the first place, or he was going to walk. Because if he didn't need the money. It wasn't about the money. It was about actually providing a good product
Right.
for a fair price. So that was a really good experience for me. If I were to do solar panels, I'd probably buy them from him just based off that.
Interesting. So it's interesting you say that because it's more about how the experience was, how you felt the presentation went versus the actual product or maybe even the price. It was more
Correct.
just like he had a conversation that understood kind of what you were going through, and
Yep.
if it wasn't a good fit, it's not a good fit.
It's not a good fit. I had a second guy come in, same deal about solar panels, and his price was half the other guy's. But he rushed me, way rushed, and was like, just try to beat it in there really quick and financing and stuff like that. And well, he rushed me, and so I just didn't feel comfortable, and I said,
Well,
no.
it always makes me a little bit nervous when you have two people come in saying they're selling the same product and one is half the price of the other. I'm like,
yeah, that also.
so what are you going to come back with?
Yeah, that also
You know,
raised
like-
my eyebrow. Yeah, he wanted to, do a couple different things, and it sounded like a really good deal. But at the end of the day, I was like, half the price. I mean, something's wrong. So, and I'm not in the solar panel business. I don't know what it actually costs and what the profit is and stuff like that. I try to do my own math calculations and whatnot. For now, I'm holding off. But if I were to do it, it'd be with the first guy, double the price, because I feel like he would have protected me more at the end of the day. So,
No, it's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, next time I decide to start selling solar panels, I'll come to your house. Take plenty of time.
they're everywhere. Yeah, there's I don't know what it is, but I don't have a no soliciting sign. Anyone's welcome on my doorstep, so I get a lot of visitors.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Good to know.
But I'm not mad about it. So,
Yeah.
any experiences you guys have had, bad or good?
It's hard for me to think of a good experience, honestly. I'm sure there are some, but bad experiences for sure. Car sales, I've had some doozies.
Yes,
Yeah, same. do
And
have
I
a
wouldn't
story.
say I've experienced high pressure sales when it comes to cars, but it's the waiting game they play with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember one, I can't remember which car it was we bought. It took us, we were there probably 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it was all because we would start negotiating and I'd ask a question and the salesman would, let me go talk to my manager. And he would be gone 30, 45 minutes at a time.
I was about ready to just
Really?
walk out, but I'd forgotten about that one.
Yeah.
That was a miserable experience.
That's
And then
nonsense.
didn't they have to clean it or something too? And they said they would clean it and then like it'd be ready in an hour and it was like another 3 hours. And we're like,
Yeah.
we'll leave and come back.
Yeah, it
Like,
was pretty ridiculous.
maddening.
We had our kids with us.
Oh yeah.
And
Don't do that.
It was there was no reason it took. It should have taken that long.
No.
I mean, we're here to do business. It was a cash deal. It wasn't like
Yeah.
we had to go through the financing thing. So yeah, that was just not a good experience.
Newsflash, if you have me out to your house, I won't be doing that. It's very rare I ever have to ask my boss a question, but it does happen.
Oh, yeah.
It still happens today. You know, it might be one
Well-
question that I say, hey, I have to step outside and call
You
her.
don't take 45 minutes.
But I don't take 45. It takes about 3, and I come back with a genuine answer. I was like, this is what the master said. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
right.
What about you, Karis? Any good or bad experiences you've had?
Well, I'd kind of forgotten about that one, but now that you mention it, I'd probably blot those memories out. They were so painful of staying in a dealership for hours with 2 small children. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. No, car shopping is like one of the most anxiety-inducing experiences for
Yeah.
me. I'm not comfortable with it because I don't know enough about vehicles to make a good decision. Consumer Reports, price range, and that's how I pick.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, if it's in my favorite color, great. If it's a
Yeah.
better deal, I'll live with this color, you know.
Yeah.
But it is different. I know that like a lot of times they want you to buy right now, today.
Yeah.
We'll discount it if you buy it today. And there are, as we have been in business and learned more about sales, I do know there are reasons for that,
Right.
but none that should make you feel like you have to do something. Like you should only move forward if you're comfortable. I mean,
Yeah,
like the whole
exactly.
idea is to
Yeah.
make you happy and to do the product and provide the service that you invite us to your home
Yeah.
to help you with.
Yeah.
But
And as a business, you can always reward confidence and moving forward and
Right.
making those design selections like immediate if you know exactly what you want and you feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an option. That's not saying, you know, you're going to lose this deal. You know, if
Right.
you don't do it, you know, that's
Right.
different. I'm just saying this is on the table. It's an offer. You can choose to accept it or not.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's that's part of our philosophy. I mean, to be transparent, we do offer a discount if you decide to move forward that day, but it's
Yeah.
not used as a club to beat you to.
No.
It doesn't
So-
really change the price, but it is something you offer. And we came up with that number specifically because we have done the math and we know how much it costs
Yep.
for you to go out and go to someone's home once,
Yep.
and we know how much it costs for you to go a second time.
Yep.
And
And the
so,
gas and the stuff like
the
that.
gas, all that
So
stuff, it
That's
comes
why
into
when
play.
you see it on the paper, it's a very specific number and it hasn't changed.
Right. And
It's-
so,
yeah.
I mean, and that's based on actuals. And so I do understand now going to a dealership and them offering me a discount if I buy today and I'm coming to your place of business is a little different
That is different.
than you having to come out to my home. And
Right.
because, you know, we know it takes 60 to 90 minutes for you to do an assessment on a kitchen or bath. But if I have to come back and do that, you also include the travel time. You're talking about half a day a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that, you know, it does add
Yeah,
up.
for sure.
So it's a valid thing, but it's not supposed to be a high pressure thing. It's just there if you want to take advantage of it. And if it's something you've been thinking about already
Right.
and you feel like the product and the service are the quality you are wanting and made you feel comfortable, answered your questions like we discussed, then there shouldn't be any reason to not take advantage of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have a good experience, ironically, with car sales. But there's a local salesman that I met. I can't remember where I met him. I think I was shopping for a truck for the business, and he had one like that. And he just kind of got some information from me. And anytime a truck that comes across that's similar to that, he sends me a text and say, "Hey, I just got this. Is this something you'd be interested in?" So, and I've bought 2 or 3 trucks from him because he's heard what I needed, what I'm looking for,
Right.
and he remembers. And
Right.
it's like, so I think that's part of a good experience with a company, is if they take the time to figure out what you need and what you want, and they actually have your interest in mind. And because if you come to someone and say, I need a truck like this, they don't have it, but he calls you, you know, a month or 2 later and is like, "Hey, I found this." You know, that speaks a lot. Like he actually took note and remembered. That I was
And we'll
looking for
put
something.
notes down, and like when I get a request for an appointment and someone gives me specific, you know, I'm only interested in this or I'm only interested in that, or we can't do this until, you know, 6 months from now, but we want to go ahead and get a price. I'll put that in the notes for your appointments. So you know that going in, and that kind of can help you answer their questions in a way that fits their needs. We do try to take notes of things like that and make sure that it is presented in the best way for your unique position.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, and part of our consultation is we spend the first, 15, 30 minutes sometimes just trying to make sure we know what you need or what you're looking for
Right.
to make sure we can even help you.
Yeah.
Because if what you want, what you need is not something we offer, we're not going to try to twist your arm into accepting what we have.
Yeah.
That's not the way we work. or do
Right.
business. So-
And I keep a list of vendors and sources on my computer that if someone calls in and that's not something we offer, I do try to point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like, we don't offer that, but I have heard that this person does.
Right.
I don't necessarily endorse someone unless I've personally worked with them and have experienced their quality of work, but I do have lists of names and stuff that I'm happy to give out if it's something we can't help with.
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure. One bad experience I've had. Probably the worst is when it was with a car salesman, and when I bought my wife's newest car. It's actually this one. The salesman did something I will never do, and I took note of it because at that time I was transitioning into being a design consultant, and I noticed what he did. And I already knew going, and you know what? I mean, call it a habit of mine or, something I shouldn't do, something I should probably confess about is messing with the salesman. I shouldn't say messing, but like I come in confident. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. And I'm here to negotiate and do business, right? So come in and everything and discussing the car, looking at the different cars. We found one that we really liked, and it was in our price range. And the salesman almost never talked to us. He just did a ride around in it and stuff like that. And anyways, he did a ride around, and we got back to the office and sat down and everything like that, and talked about how much we wanted for our trade-in and stuff like that. And I got it raised to what it was actually worth. And then how much was left over. What he did, though, was he wrote how much was left over, marked a line with an X beside it, and sign this saying that you will pay this amount if I get it approved from my manager.
That's pretty common with car sales.
Yeah, I did not like that. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, not happening.
You
like
can go get
signing
it
a blank
approved, and if you get approved, then I'll sign any paperwork you want me to. But that was something that I guess it would be most described as a trick. It's a psychological thing. If you sign your name, you already feel like you committed to the deal. As a design consultant and as someone who sells the products that we do at Ozark on Pros, I will never make anyone sign for anything before they're fully comfortable in doing it.
Yeah.
Ever.
Right.
And it doesn't even matter if it's fake, if it's whatever.
Fake.
Well, he just made me sign a line. It wasn't binding to anything, but psychologically it was.
Yeah, no psychological tricks. Good to know.
You know what I
Good to
mean?
know.
You know,
Yeah.
it was.
We would fire you if you did that.
Yeah. Well, and I was also gonna say probably wouldn't allow it, but yeah, that was not cool. So, he was able to get it to that price anyways because I knew he was. And then the great part about it was they thought we were financing until I wrote a check, and so that was even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also another secret with car sales. Don't tell them how you're paying for it.
Yep,
until
I
you get
never
what you
told
need.
them. I just, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna negotiate.
I'm taking you with us next time.
got
You
it.
can take my place, Eric. You just take Justin. I'll just stay at home, and y'all can just
Yeah.
surprise me.
See you in 3 hours with the.
We got a really good deal. A really good
Yeah.
deal.
Well, I would like a Toyota 4Runner, please.
It's not very often. Okay, whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'll get it for you. We traded in the car for more than what we owed for the one we were getting.
Oh, that's nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
impressive.
So I think
but anyhow,
one of the, I guess probably the most common fears that clients or people that are putting themselves in sales situations is how's it going to go?
yeah,
Because I think it takes a lot from a person, especially inviting someone into their home. They're already guard up because they know they're probably going to get sold to. And, most likely already have agreed to say no because they know the high pressure stuff is coming.
right.
And I mean, we get that. We understand that having someone in your home and, going through this whole decision process can be intimidating.
Right.
It can be, a little nerve wracking. Have
Well,
some
it's a big investment
anxiety
a lot of times.
involved.
I mean,
Yeah.
like anytime you're doing this type of work in your home, it's not going to be cheap. I mean, it's just not. And you're investing in your biggest asset generally. And so you want to make sure that you feel comfortable with the quality and the price you're paying, because you don't want to overpay for something that's going to, I mean, it does add value to your home. We've talked about those in previous episodes, but you don't want to you don't want to overbuild your kitchen. You don't want to put $200,000 kitchen in a $150,000 house. That just doesn't make sense. And we don't, I mean, you don't
But some
sell
people
that.
may want to do that.
That is true.
That's
I mean, they
fine.
may.
Yeah.
They may. And, you know, first of all, we're there to do what they want. And if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But that would also come with, is that something you're comfortable putting into this home if you're only planning on staying here for 2 years? You know,
Yeah.
it's different if you're going to stay there for the long term.
Right. And that's why I think our approach, the more consultative approach, is we're just trying to match up what your needs and wants are to
Yep.
what we can do for you. And
Yep.
if it doesn't work out, then
That's fine.
you know, that gives you more clarity about what you want. So,
Right. Yeah, I would say the typical experience that I try to convey is just very genuine, very loving, and just say, listen, I'm here to help you. And one of the first things we do is we either do it in the bathroom or at the kitchen table is go through a needs assessment, which if I'm already there, we already know that you're interested in a kitchen or bathroom. That's not the point of it. The point is to dig deeper to figure out and understand what it is about this bathroom you don't like and what we need to change. Is it a safety concern? Is it just completely design concern? Is it both? What functionality issues are you having with your cabinetry? Are they falling off and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So and then also to get your design tastes right, so your
Right.
colors and stuff like that, like we talked about in a previous episode. That way, when it's all said and done, the rest of it can go as smooth as possible. I already know exactly what to suggest. I already know what to measure. I already know exactly, so it's going to make it really easy based on what your preferences are. And then even in that, we talk about how, you would like to go ahead. I already get it off the table, the elephant in the room, which is obviously I'm here to do business with you. And I try to let them know that this isn't to be intimidating. I want you to feel as comfortable as you can in your own home. But I'm also here because I like to make money for business. And so I'm here to do business, but I'm here to do it gently, right? So there's a confidence play too that comes into play that I just try to present myself with and I will talk about how we are better than other companies, and I truly believe that. But then after all that's said and done, if you're still not comfortable with it at the very end of it, then at the end of the day, there's nothing. I'm not going to twist your arm or do anything like that. That would be the typical experience for me. Something I forgot to mention too was during the needs assessment, I'll already address the elephant in the room, which is financing and how we're going to fund this project. And
There are a
go
lot of
ahead.
elephants in your room, Justin.
There's a lot of them.
It's really crowded.
Yeah.
like a zoo over there.
I try to just, hey, look, this is all the things that you obviously were expecting. Let's just go ahead and talk about it the way the rest of this conversation can be smooth as possible.
Yeah.
And just try to, let them know that this is the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. So,
Well, one of the things too that you often you say in your presentation, and we have as a company policy, is our prices are good for a year. I mean,
correct.
that alone takes away the pressure right there.
Yep.
You don't have to make a decision today to get this price. It's going to be the same price next week. It's going to be the same price next month. And that way you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't do it right now, I'm not going to be able to get this. No, it's still going to be good. Of course, there's a lot of factors that play into that. We have different specials we run, and different times of the year have different options, and also how far our lead time is.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah. And
those things all come into play.
that's a good
Yes, they do.
segue into discounts. So a lot of companies use what I would say are fake discounts that most people know they're already built into the price.
right.
And
That's,
it's just
that's
a
how
way,
I've always felt about them.
and they are.
Yeah.
We take a different approach. We actually allow you to earn your discount by cooperating with us to help us with some marketing stuff.
Yep.
Pass along some efficiency discounts if there's multiple things ordered at one time,
Right.
which essentially means we save money on freight, so we just pass it to you.
Yep.
So there's a couple of things that we put as a way to earn a discounted price versus just a false discount that everybody knows it's already in the price. You're just
Right.
getting them in there to.
I think that's a clear distinction because there's nothing that we do to our prices to just bump them down. We have to sell them for what we have to sell them for
Right.
as a business grows. Just how a business works, okay? But at the end of the day, though, there is some things that we can pass along, but it's from the marketing side too. So if there's help on the Google review side or anything like that, then that helps the business grow, and that's something that is hard, not necessarily like a mystery. I mean, you can put a number to it, but the numbers change all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so we take that price off for those reasons.
Yeah, well, like we talked about, if you sign today, you get a discount. Well, that's because we know how much it costs for you to come back a second time. And if we get to save that money, we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so it makes it a little bit, it's more attractive on all sides at that point.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I think
Absolutely.
that's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Let me think if I have anything else.
Any more elephants in the room, Jocelyn?
Any more elephants in the room? No, I don't think so.
So we have this agreement on our website.
We do.
So if you want to read it, the
Please.
things that we signed and agreed to as far as no pressure, no tricks, sales promise to you, kind of ease your mind to let us into your home. And let's talk about how we can help you with your bathroom or kitchen project and, experience the no pressure difference.
That's right.
Yep. I think Ozark Home Pros does a really good job of walking the line of, still wanting to do business with someone confidently,
absolutely.
but also not twisting anyone's arm to do it. And that's a really fine line, especially just, from the salesman culture, the Google salesman type deal, someone's going to pressure you into doing something and stuff like that. I've known it from since I was a kid. And it's something to have, it is something, I felt it when people were in my home. I'm sure, my wife has too, felt that same intimidation when the solar panel guys were there. So I don't know. I think this is it's a good episode to really think about and chomp on. So, yep, for sure. That's all I got.
All right. Well, questions or comments?
Please leave
Send
them
them
down
to us.
below. Absolutely. Thank you again for watching another episode of New House, Same Address, and we'll see you on the next one.